We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the All Sports All Plays Network. My name is Will Polson. Alongside with me is one gentleman and one gentleman who's very excited. It looks like, I tell you what, happy day. Con Man, we'll turn it over to you first. First one's with me is the man of basketball history, the historian himself, Con Man. How you doing tonight, my man?
I'm doing pretty good, guys. How about y'all?
Yeah, I can't complain. I'm not as good as Trey, though. Trey ready to go. I'll tell you what.
Wow.
But I'll tell you what, Trey, I guess I'll turn it over to you. I mean, you have to introduce yourself at this point. I mean, you look happy.
Oh, I am ecstatic. Some good games today. I'm not going to tease y'all anymore. I mean, I'm just excited. I can't wait to get into these topics. I am excited. I feel like I should be a NFL Network analyst with these predictions that I'm just so good at predicting things, you know. But I'll get back to it here in a minute.
Oh yeah, you're definitely going to get right back to it. We're going to jump in pretty quick, but first let's talk about those T-shirts. Will, you need to apologize. I don't apologize to nothing. But first, let's jump into how somebody could win a free T-shirt and be our viewer of the month. Trey, why don't you go ahead and tell the people how?
Basically, just doing what that fan just did right there. All you got to do is comment on any one of our shows. Whoever has the most comments at the end of at the end of the month will be declared the winner of the T-shirt that you're seeing on your screen right now, and we'll be sending it to you ASAP from the ASAP Network.
and if you're not in there for viewer of the month, you can always just go ahead and message one of us or anybody else on the network. $14.99 plus shipping and handling. Sizes range from small to 2X. And we'll that's basically it. You go ahead and reach out to one of us. You might have to pay a little bit more if you bump up if you bump up the size, get one of those big boy shirts, because you can't admit when you're wrong. I know. Okay, that's kind of rude. We don't have to be mean. I'd like to think I'm one of the more people who's more willing.
Wait. We can't be mean on the show. We can't be mean. That's all the spectacle. I can't be mean today. What?
Well, I guess you can take the floor, Trey. I mean, if you want to be the moderator, yeah.
No, you're good.
No. I mean, I'd like to think I'm one of the more humble ones when it comes to my picks. Yes, I was wrong on one of them, but yes, I was right on one of them. So hey,
you know what though? Will went out on a limb. This Bills team is rising. They're rising. They didn't have Chiefs just came in with a great game plan. Who would have thought that secondary? But we get to do that, great. But we'll get into that game later, I'm pretty sure, and I'll explain my position on that. But the Bills are they're one or two pieces away. You see Josh Allen. I mean, Josh Allen is an up and rising star. I think these two quarterbacks are going to go out. I think it's going to be the new Brady Manning era in the next decade.
This could be a matchup that we do see quite a bit. But before we get to that matchup, let's jump into the NFC side of things. They played first earlier today as the Bucs went into Lambeau Field and did exactly what I said they were going to do. So since we're going to be humble here and I can't admit when I'm wrong, let's talk about how I was right. Okay, let's start with the Packers and the Bucs. They went into Lambeau Field, and like I mentioned, Tampa Bay got off to an early start, looking at a 21-10 lead going into half. Game ended up being a little bit closer by the end of it, 31-26, the final score. Trey, I know this is why you're happy. I know this is definitely. I know this is why you're happy more than anything. So let me just get your thoughts on the game.
It ain't the only reason I'm happy. I'm in South Texas. We got some rain today. We got some rain. I mean, we're in a little bit of a drought, so I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the ASAP. I'm just happy. I just can't be happy. I'm happy.
All right, you can be happy.
But yes, Will, you're all right. I'm very ecstatic. I'm very, very ecstatic. Okay, I do got to apologize to Adam and J-Mac, I know you're a big Packer fans. You're not a bandwagon fan. It's hard. I know. I really do apologize because y'all are true fans. I get it. Yeah, I get it. I get it. It sucks. But at least your team made it to the championship. Now, for those bandwagon fans who are Aaron Rodgers lovers and think that Aaron Rodgers is the greatest thing in the world, let's just talk about the Green Bay Packers and how there are 1-4 in championship games since Aaron Rodgers has taken the helm. 1-4. Then everyone's going to talk to me and say Aaron Rodgers had a great game. 33 of 48 for 346 yards and 3 touchdowns to 1 pick. But if you're a studio, I guess you can say, as myself, whatever, I'm kidding. No one can ruin my mood tonight. Aaron Rodgers did not have a particularly good game. And there's 2 instances. They had a free play. Davante Adams, wide, freak open, didn't even look his way. That was Aaron Rodgers. Now, I've never seen Aaron Rodgers do that. And then on the 3rd down play, it was like a little bit over 2 minutes ago, and they're down by 8. Easily could have ran. Could have got in, or at least would have gotten to the 1 or 2 yard line. He probably would have got in. But yeah, he tried to force feed it to Davante Adams. And that, to me, when you become as good as Aaron Rodgers is, you have to start looking at other things besides his yards, because he's going to get the yards. Let's just face it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers gave him those yards. Lazard did his thing tonight. His other receiver, I can't even say his other receivers' names. I'm just
Valdez-Scantling?
Yeah, Scantling. I can't.
There you go.
I want to say Stanley, but I knew that wasn't right. And I didn't want to butcher the guy's name. So that guy. But I mean, Aaron Rodgers, yeah, he had stat-wise a pretty good game. But if you just look inside the game, he wasn't. He pressed too much. He tried to force feed. They had the ball at the 3-yard line. They threw 3 straight passes to Davante Adams. 3 straight. A great quarterback will know your situation instead of being a stat packer like he is, like I've been saying for the last 10 years. Run the dang ball. Yeah, your running game it wasn't doing that great, but you have 3 chances to get inside the 5-yard line. You throw it 3 times, try to force feed it to Davante Adams. One of those was a good back shoulder throw. Davante probably should have got it. But other than that, I mean, yeah, he had the yards. But my God. You just saw whenever the pressure comes to it, Aaron Rodgers, he chokes in a different way. He press feeds. He's going to have the gaudy numbers. Yes, we all know that, but he doesn't make the right reads at the right time. And that's what I've been trying to tell everybody. Where Tom Brady, for many years, has done the greatest thing that he's done. He makes the right read almost the majority all the time. And we're going to talk about those 3 interceptions here in a minute. But I just want to say, as much as heck as I give Aaron Rodgers, that defense was abysmal, and I knew it. I knew the Rams were throwing the ball all over the field against the Packers. They just didn't capitalize. And with the great Tom Brady and everything, King got destroyed. Let's just be honest. King had a bad game. King was supposed to be one of the best corners in the league, one of the best corners definitely on their team. God, what is he thinking on the 8 seconds left in the half? They only have one job, not to let him score a touchdown, and he let I forgot his freaking name too.
Scotty Miller.
Miller.
Love that guy.
I do too. He's going to be a stud in himself. But you let him he wasn't even looking at the receiver. He was just looking at the quarterback's eyes when you have one job, not to let anyone score and just let him run right past you. And Tom Brady just threw a perfect ball right there and then. But going back, Tom Brady threw 3 straight interceptions. 2 of them weren't really his fault. Let's just be honest. One went off Mike Evans' hands. The other one, Mike Evans didn't run the right route. And the other one, Fournette just didn't block anybody, and just Tom Brady just threw it up for a Hail Mary and hoped that Evans would have caught it. But on all they didn't score points off those turnovers, and great quarterbacks capitalize on those points. I got to give it up to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, pressing them. I thought that's what the Rams were going to do: press them, make it hard. And I knew that JPP and Sue and those boys had to show up, and they did. I just knew they were going to give Aaron. I think they sacked him 4 or 5 times this game. Aaron Rodgers was thinking about that all game long too. So all around, great game plan by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The only reason this game was close, let's just be honest, is because Tom Brady started doing Mike Evans dropping passes, bad reads, and then a bad miss blitz pickup by the Fournette. I really wasn't sweating this game. Well, and let's talk about the head coach real quick. I know Comment wants to get in on this. I just want to talk about
No,
it.
Only 10 minutes into an episode and only Trey's talked. But
I know.
I'm sorry. Just a lot to recap, man. But I don't
I
understand.
said, what were your thoughts? Not what was the play-by-play. I mean,
Okay, but we got to get into this real quick. Why are you kicking it with 2 minutes left, over a little bit of 2 minutes left? Why are you not going for a touchdown and you're kicking a field goal? And you're planning on your defense who have not stopped Tom Brady consistently all game, and you kick a field goal and you're expecting to get the ball back with Tom Brady with a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Ain't going to happen. So that was a bad coaching decision on his part. Sorry, Conman, your turn.
I was going to say, I was going to ask Conman about that. I was waiting for you to wrap up. I mean, appreciate you killing 10 minutes, but
I'm sorry. I'm happy.
But yeah, Conman, I was going to turn it over to you. Obviously, right before the 2-minute warning on a 4th and goal situation, the Packers elect to go for the field goal as opposed for the touchdown. You're on the 8-yard line. Obviously that ultimately could have, when you're looking at it, sure, there were a lot of decisions made in the game. There were a lot of mistakes, but that's what everybody's looking at right now is the fact that they didn't trust Aaron Rodgers on 4th and 8 with the game on the line, basically right before the 2-minute, and a touchdown with a 2-point could have tied the game at the point. So what are your thoughts on that one? Obviously, a lot of people saying it's a bad coaching decision. Aaron Rodgers already came out in his post-game presser and said that he had no decision in that. What were your takeaways from that?
Let me start by first saying that my 2 choices today were wrong. So I have to apologize to Trey, because I went on the network and stated that the Packers and my guy, Aaron Rodgers, would come away with the victory, and they didn't. But to answer your question, Will, I think they should have went for it. I think our favorite guy, Stephen A. Smith, stated that they went with the analytics, and that might have played a part in the reason why they didn't do what they should have done. And I don't know. I'm baffled. I am totally baffled at the way the defense played. King. Matter of fact, they just activated him today. Matter of fact, or yesterday. I think he just got activated. 8 seconds left to go. All they had to do was play zone coverage. I think that they had every opportunity to come away at halftime with a better opportunity. I don't know. I didn't like the call. I think they were at the 8-yard line. A couple of opportunities that Rodgers could have ran the ball in, like Trey said. A couple of opportunities he could have ran the ball in, at least maybe like to the 1 or 2 yard line. He chose not to try to force feed it. Devontae had 2 guys on him. Tough pass to make. And the fact is that they couldn't run at all. They had absolutely no rushing game whatsoever. I expect them to have a little bit more of a running game. And I don't know. I thought the Packers would play a lot better. But we talked about this one. We said that the Tampa Bay, how was Rodgers going to be able to handle the defensive pressure? And obviously, he didn't do a very good job. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Monday morning quarterbacks tomorrow going to question the coaching decisions that were made. That's what I think.
Tell you what, shout out to Ace, because Ace was on Sports Minute on Saturday, and he had said that the X factor in this game was going to be Kevin King. And boy, was
really?
He right.
I didn't know that.
He knew Jair Alexander is going to do his thing. He does what he does on a week in, week out basis. Jair's an absolute amazing corner. He said it's going to come down to what Kevin King does on the other side, because we know that whoever Alexander is going to have covered is going to be locked down, but can King keep up with the other weapons in Tampa Bay? And we got our answer. He got that touchdown. Mike Evans got that first touchdown right over Kevin King. Scotty Miller ran right by Kevin King. It was kind of just tough to watch almost. Well, not for me. I had a great time. But for Packers fans, I can imagine it would be a little tough to watch. And especially people who know the team like Ace does. He basically called his own shot. He called how that game was going to end. It's basically in the hands of Kevin King, and he really kind of let it go. But yeah, whenever it comes down to it, obviously the big decision is going to be going for it or the field goal. All the Kevin King, whatever he did, all the passes he allowed and everything such as that are going to be forgotten about, at least by the casual fan who only caught the end. And they're gonna see that they didn't go for it on 4th and 8, 4th and goal, with basically with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line, and you didn't trust the aforementioned MVP, basically, the foreshadowing this year. You have the MVP on your roster and you don't even go for it. So it is a little bit of a bonehead coaching decision. But let's talk about their defense a little bit in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's defense played phenomenal again. This is back-to-back weeks now. They've looked great. They did their thing. Sean Murphy-Bunting got another interception. I want to say he's one of the first players, if not the first player, to get an interception in all of the first 3 rounds of the playoffs between the wild card, the divisional, and then the championship. I want to say he's the first player ever to get a pick in all 3 rounds. The defense came out today for 5 sacks. Earlier, whenever they played the Packers in the regular season, they sacked Aaron Rodgers 5 times. And this is an offensive line that, even without David Bakhtiari, is pretty outstanding, one of the tops in the league. They do a really good job, and so do the Packers, of scheming around to where Aaron Rodgers doesn't get hit a lot. They do a lot of quick plays and everything such as that, to where he avoids pressure and avoids contact. But the Bucs really got after him, and the defense did everything they could to show out. Tom Brady had a game. I mean, he did what he had to do. A lot of people are out here saying that Tom Brady didn't do this, Tom Brady didn't do that. But at the end of the day, he did what he needed to do. Sure, he had 3 interceptions, but at the end of the day, one of you is going to the Super Bowl and one of you is not. So, Trey, I'll ask you. This defense right now is, like we've said, it's playing at a different level. Do you think that the Chiefs should be concerned? Do you think they can go up against the offensive line, and do you think the defense of the Bucs can handle with the Chiefs? Because this is one of the hottest defenses right now against probably the most explosive offense in the NFL.
Man, it's tough. It's too early. It's tough. It is. That's why you're the moderator, man. If this Tampa Bay team's defense shows up, I don't see them stopping Kansas City. I'm not saying they're going to stop. No one can stop Kansas City but Kansas City. I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. But they can make it a little harder than what Buffalo did, and we'll get into that a little bit later. I think you're going to see I think you're going to see what, and Tony Romo hit on this in the broadcast too. I think Bruce Arians is going to go to Bill Belichick's scheme. You're going to have one safety over the top, right, and then double team Kelsey, and have like little help on Tyreek Hill. One, you can't take away both those guys. If you do, it's game over. I mean, you can't. There's too many weapons on Kansas City. There really is. And Patrick Mahomes doing what he does, I think they're going to make it tougher for him than what Buffalo did. I think that they had the players, they have the linebacker core for it. But can they stop them? No. But can they consistently keep them out of the end zone? That's going to be the key. They're going to gain yards, but when they get in the red zone, can that Tampa Bay Buccaneers red zone defense that's been showing up lately? I think that's where it's going to be the game right there. If you can hold Kansas City to field goals, I think you have a great shot at pulling off the upset.
All right, but here's the big thing. I'll turn this over to you, Con Man. The Bucs did this today without Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown, as of now, is expected to be back for the Super Bowl. I mean, granted, you get that Pro Bowl week where nobody plays, and so he gets an extra week to recover. He was almost a game time decision today. They had said that he wasn't going to be playing on Saturday, so obviously his health isn't too much of a concern. It came to a point where it was a close call, but ultimately he got the red flag for today, and he had to sit today out. So Trey had mentioned the big pieces over there in Kansas City and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, but now the Bucs would be looking in the Super Bowl with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Antonio Brown. Do you think Antonio Brown can be? Do you think Antonio Brown will add like a new element to this offense? Do you think it's going to be different to see? Like, do you think the Bucs haven't even reached like their full potential on offense yet? And do they have the firepower to keep up with the Chiefs?
Well, the Chiefs are they're very explosive. It's going to be very difficult to keep up with them. As far as Antonio Brown, I don't think he's going to play a major factor. Does give him a little bit, does make him a little bit better. I think it might make him a little bit better. But right now, him coming off that injury, I don't foresee them really going to him that much. But one thing you guys didn't bring up is that the one play that was really needed was done by Gronk. You remember that pass he got from Brady?
That's great. That's great.
That reception. That was one of the biggest plays of the game. You know what I mean? All he did was block all game, and when it came down to crunch time, he went to his old partner, and Gronk made a great play. But to answer your question, I think Antonio Brown will help a little bit, but I don't think they're gonna rely on him all that much. But Kansas City has all that offensive weapons. I mean, Kelsey and Hill, man, phenomenal. And then I don't know. I don't think Goodwin can match what Hill does. I really don't think so. And it's going to be tough. Kansas City is playing really well. I mean, turf toe. I wish I had a turf toe play that good. If I had a turf toe, I mean, Mahomes let me have a turf toe, and he played phenomenal. So I mean, I don't know. I think it's going to be tough for them to handle Kansas City.
I mean, I can answer that a little bit better. About no, I didn't mean like that. Well, I mean, it's like Mike Evans is going to benefit more with Antonio Brown coming back. That's what I think. I think they can't double team. If they double team Evans, Brown's going to have a great game because Brown can beat you over the top. He can put you in the slot, run routes just like Tyreek Hill does. Is he as fast as Tyreek Hill? No. But if they double team either one of those guys and one of the other guys is going to open up, and it's going to help the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense mightily. That's why I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think it's just I honestly think it's going to come over who has the least amount of turnovers, who doesn't make the big mistake, and whoever has the ball last, to be honest with you. I really think it's going to come down to that. Both these defenses are playing well. Remember, against Washington, Tampa Bay looked horrible. That's why no one picked them. They looked horrible. But no one had film on Heineke. I mean, they didn't know how fast this guy was or how good. I mean, Washington played lights out. But after that game, you saw that since that game, 6 turnovers in 2 postseason games against Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers' teams. That wins you football games right there. And then also Capel not only field goal, but scoring touchdowns off those turnovers. Not just touchdown. I think they scored touchdowns on every one of those turnovers. Mm-hmm. So that if you're Kansas City, you're going to have they kind of get nonchalant. They kind of remind me of the Golden State Warriors back when they had Kevin Durant and everything. They get these big leads and they kind of coast a little bit and let teams back in and everything. You can't coast against this talented Tampa Bay team because they just have just as dynamic weapons as you do on the offensive side. And maybe not one or two more, to be honest with you. They all show up and are all healthy.
So we got a great question from Madison that came in earlier, and she had said, will the home field advantage help any? Now, this is crazy to even think about because this is the first time we can ever say this. In 55 Super Bowls, this is the first time in history that the home team, the hosting team, will be there for the Super Bowl representing as well. Yep. So, Congan, I'll turn it over to you first. Obviously, limited capacity. The Raymond James has already come out and said that they are going to be at, I want to say the total was 17,000, maybe 17 or 22, something around that number. But part of it's going to be vaccinated healthcare workers. 7,500 of them are going to be vaccinated healthcare workers. They will be getting Super Bowl tickets for dealing with COVID and everything such as that. But do you think that this is going to help the Buccaneers in their case that they are going to be at their home stadium, whether it be comfortability with the field or maybe the atmosphere or anything like that? Do you think it's going to play any factor?
Yes. I mean, isn't this like a dream made in heaven? I mean, you get to play in your own home turf. I mean, for the biggest game of the season, I think it's going to play a big part. I mean, they're coming home. They're going to be ready to play. I think they're going to give them a good game. I think, yeah, to answer your question, yes, definitely. I think definitely it's going to add to the excitement. The environment's going to be great. It's going to be pumped up. The people are going to be going nuts. The Brady factor, everything seems to go in Tampa Bay's credit, or more so the way, I think. But I think it's going to end up being Kansas City's going to end up winning anyway. But I think it will help. Definitely will help.
Trey, I'll turn it over to you. Do you think the home field advantage helps the Bucks in any way?
Maybe a little early in the game because they'll be sleeping in their own beds. They don't have to go to a hotel and worry about that. But honestly, as the game goes on, I don't say it because it's not their regular home fans, if you will. It's really not going to be. It's going to be people who've already registered. It's like people who travel to these things, like mutual fans, I guess you can say. And with 7,500 healthcare workers and stuff the stadium itself is going to be an advantage for them because they know all the slippery spots and all the field conditions and everything like that. But after I don't see it. These are NFL players. Kansas City is going to be there for a week. They're going to be adjusted to the field. That's why the Super Bowl is so great. It's an even. I honestly don't see it as a big advantage as it would be in a regular season game. Honestly, I can actually tell you it's probably going to be more pressure on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to be the home field because they're going to be hosting all these family members coming in to their houses, and they want to see their families a lot more. The practicing might not be as more precise as the Kansas City Chiefs, who are going to come in as a business trip, and they can't carry as much family because of COVID reasons. I can see it as a potential distraction more than I can see success.
I didn't even think of that. Because that is a lot of pressure, This is Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken, Super Bowl 55?
Yep. 55.
Yeah, 55. And so in 55 Super Bowls, nobody's ever done this, and you get to be the first team. I mean, that does kind of put a lot of pressure on you, really. I didn't think about that, but man, I tell you what, whenever this offseason came and Brady was on the speculation to move, and Tampa was hosting the Super Bowl, honestly, it all kind of wrote itself. And I'm not shocked at all that they're here. Like, I don't know why, but no matter what, whenever I was watching them in the regular season, they had their struggles, they had their fits, but I'm not shocked at all. Like, I'm impressed. Charlie Perry says, I love Brady, but I think the Chiefs got this. Tell you what, we're going to get into the Chiefs here. So why don't we go ahead and turn over to that game? That game just finished just a couple of minutes ago, probably roughly about, we've been live for 27, probably about 30 minutes ago. So the Bills, those poor Bills, the team I've been high on for so long, the Bills taking on the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead. And let's just say, for my sake, it didn't go well. 24-38, the final score, as Buffalo falls to the reigning defending Super Bowl champions. Fair to say, let's just start off with this, Con Man. Fair to say Patrick Mahomes is okay from his stat line? He looked fine.
Yes, I don't think he had a turf toe, to be honest with you. I mean, 29 for 38. 325 yards, 3 TDs, no interceptions. I mean, he looked fine to me. He was running like he had no problems. He looked like the old Mahomes. I mean, he brought it today. I thought he looked fine. But that offense is unbelievable, man. Hill is something to behold, man. 9 receptions, 172 yards. And then they got Kelsey, 13 receptions, 118 yards. It's unbelievable. And then you have Buffalo with no running game whatsoever. They kept defense kept Stephon Diggs in check. Cole Beasley had a decent game, 88 yards, but he really wasn't that effective. Josh Allen, 28 for 287 yards, 1 interception. I thought he played well, and like you guys said, he has a great future ahead of him. But I don't know. I don't think he was ready for what he was about to face in dealing with Kansas City today.
Trey, were you impressed by how well the Kansas City Chiefs were able to hold Stephon Diggs in check?
Yes and no, I guess you can say. Kansas City made the mindset of they're not going to have Stephon Diggs beat you. And I thought that was the key coming in. I thought they were going to double Stephon, make his life a living hell, and make Josh Allen be patient. And you can see he was kind of antsy at times. He wanted to get that big play over and over and over. He just wanted that big play, but that was a good game plan. But because other than that, Cole Beasley's the only one who can beat you, and Josh Allen didn't take advantage of that in the first half. He started going to a little bit in the third quarter, which is a little bit too late in my opinion. So I mean, Stephon Diggs is one of the best receivers in the league. You got to find, as an offensive play caller, you got to find a better way, like move him around, put him in the slot, do some, move him around, put him in motion, do some other stuff to try to get that double team off. And just like what the Green Bay Packers did with Devontae Adams, put him in motion, put him in different spots where you can't double team him at times, and you get into that, get him involved a little bit early, throw him a little screen pass here and there. I just think it was an awful play calling choices by Sean McDermott and the Buffalo Bills today. I see no adjustments. I feel like they just struck true to who they were. They thought they could outscore the Kansas City Chiefs, and that Kansas City Chiefs defense just came out. Breeland had a hell of a game today. Breeland, that secondary, they stepped up. I told y'all, Tyrann Mathieu, he's silently becoming one of a Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer. They're just the way he plays ball, the way he's all over the field, ball hawker. He's kind of like that Troy Polamalu, I guess you can say. He's a safety, but he can play the linebacker position. He can come up on a running game. He can hit you. I just wish that Diggs. I wish if you're going to you have a great wide receiver talent in Diggs, you have to utilize him. You just can't leave him out there. You got to utilize him, put him in the game plan more, try to get him involved a little bit more. And I credit to the Kansas City Chiefs for taking him away, but at the same time, the Buffalo Bills need to adjust to that, and they should have easily got him more involved, either with a screen pass here or a reverse here or something to help get him going and motivated.
Yeah, I agree.
So Justin Esparza made a pretty important point, really. The bad part about this game is that they lost their left tackle, Eric Fisher. Obviously, we just saw what a good defensive line for the Bucs was able to do against Aaron Rodgers and what was statistically probably the best offensive line in the league this year. Concerning, definitely, for Kansas City. Do you think this is going to be a big factor in this game, missing your starting left tackle? Trey, I'll start with you.
Oh, yeah, especially with JPP and Sue on the outside. That's what he took the Tampa Bay Buccaneers took it. They thought I'm speaking too fast. I'm sorry. They took advantage of that with JPP. JPP's had a rebound year, man. JPP is all pro bowler this year. He's this guy's a stud. Yeah. So, and he's also missing a finger too. So that's kind of impressive. But yeah, that's going to hurt Kansas City a little bit. But honestly, I can see Andy Reid using it to his advantage too with the quick screen passes, quick passes out to Tyreek Hill, Hardman, other wide receivers. You probably can see Bell a little bit more too. I think you're going to see double teams on JPP, little schematics here and there. I think they're going to be ready, especially with 2 weeks off. Andy Reid with 2 weeks off. It's going to be fun to watch and see what kind of plays he comes up with. It could be a little troublesome because JPP and Sue can easily get to you saw with Aaron Rodgers today. They can get in that backfield in a quick. And then they can also get their hands up with their big hands and their arm length and disrupt the pass that way. Patrick Mahomes is a bad boy himself, and I think he can utilize his speed in the way he can get out of pressure situations and still throw the ball 100 miles an hour across the field and make a direct pass. So it could be troublesome, but with 2 weeks off, I think Andy Reid's going to be okay, and I think they're going to come up with a great scheme for it.
Conman, do you think missing Eric Fisher, their left tackle, Kansas City's left tackle, is going to be an issue, or are you kind of with Trey thinking they're going to find a way to scheme it out?
It's going to be an issue, but again, with 2 weeks preparation, I think that they'll come up with some solutions or some different options to nullify or to help. And the reason why they're losing their tackle. But I think, I definitely think it's going to be a factor. But they got 2 weeks to prepare. And with 2 weeks preparation, they'll be fine. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference.
I think it really comes down to what Shaq Barrett's going to do. Like, I think that's kind of my X factor for the Bucs. And whenever I'm looking at the early X factor for Tampa Bay would be Shaq Barrett. Because we saw today Shaq Barrett ended up getting 4 tackles and 3 of them were sacks. It's ridiculous. That guy's playing for a contract as well, too. Now he's in the Super Bowl. So, one of the top leaders in the NFL in sacks was right up there last year, too. Just absolutely phenomenal the way he's been playing. Not to mention, I'm assuming he's had a huge role on Devin Bush. Devin White, their young linebacker out of LSU, who's been playing phenomenal this postseason as well. Their whole defense, really. There's not many people who you can really say are playing poorly. But I'll turn it over to you, Con, man. Obviously, the Chiefs and the Bucs for the Super Bowl. Give me an early X factor for this game. Who do you think is going to be a big difference maker in this game for either team?
It's a good question. That's a very good question. You know, I'm going to go with Hill. I think if they can control Hill, I think he's going to be the major factor. And then, of course, Kelsey. I think those two guys will be the major factor in the game coming the Super Bowl game. I think that if they can control Hill and Kelsey, I think they got a shot. But the way they're playing right now, they're on fire. So my answer to that is Hill and Kelsey.
All right, Trey. Same question.
I hate you, Will. I really hate you.
Yeah, I'm the moderator, baby.
Golly.
Not only did we not think of these topics before we came on, these are all off the rip, baby. This is all off the dome. We can go.
Definitely.
I know. I'm still on my high horse right now with Tom Brady going to his 10th Super Bowl. Man. Oh man.
You can say
honestly. No, I didn't give me Tom Brady. I'm going to go. Actually, here I'm going to go. I'm going to go tight ends for the Buccaneers. I think Bray and Gronkowski. I think if they because I think it's going to be because, like you said, all the weapons on the outside they're going to force on Mike Evans and Antonio Brown. If you can get Gronk in the middle of the seam, breaking down the zone defense here and there, he can take a safety one-on-one. And then Bray, we all saw what he can do too. They show up and have a game and don't have a game plan for the tight ends. I think that it could be a long day for the Kansas City defense because unlike Buffalo, Tampa Bay has a lot of weapons and it ain't just wide receivers. We saw what Bray did. We all see what Gronkowski's a Hall of Famer tight end. So I think I'm going to go X factor tight ends on this one. Everyone's going to be focused on the wide receivers on both sides of the ball. And I think that the tight ends are going to have a pretty good, solid game in the Super Bowl.
There's a couple people I want to look out for, and Brandon Herrera, shout out to you saying that the X factor going to be the fans. We had already talked about that a little bit. So Brandon thinks the home field advantage is definitely going to be important for them. But I had already mentioned Shaq Barrett. I think Shaq Barrett's going to play a big role in this on the defensive side of things. Whenever I'm looking at the offensive side of things for the Bucs, I'm kind of with you in the fact that I like the tight end answer. I really do. I was going to go with Antonio Brown. We talked about it a lot, having the addition of Antonio Brown back in that lineup, like Trey had mentioned earlier, it really makes you spread your defense because you can't focus more on one player. I mean, Antonio Brown's a former All-Pro. Mike Evans is a former All-Pro. And if I'm not mistaken, I know Godwin's at least a former Pro Bowler. So they're a very dominant group at wide receiver, probably the best three-man punch in the league whenever it comes to it. It's the reason they've made it this far. And Tom Brady knows to spread the ball out more than almost any other quarterback that I know in the league. There's not really too much of a favoritism over there because it's not just Edelman and the field anymore. He can get it to anybody. So Tom Brady obviously going to do what he does. So I'm not going to include him either. But whenever I'm looking at the Chiefs, the main concern for me and the big X factor for me on the Chiefs side of things would be Darrell Williams. Right now, that Clyde Edwards-Helaire finally made it back this week. 6 carries for 7 yards. Not great. Not phenomenal. He still looked a little banged up. Obviously, only 6 carries, so he's not 100%. You're not gonna tell your lead back to only have 6 carries if he's feeling good. So something's still a little worked up there. Could honestly see Le'Veon Bell too. If Le'Veon Bell wants to make a couple appearances, they may put some faith into him. Right now, it seems like Darrell Williams is getting the majority of the carries. But, I mean, again, another former All-Pro that you have back there. At one point, Le'Veon Bell was the most dominant back in the league. So, if they want to work him more into things, I don't even know if he got a touch today. So that's a little, honestly, not concerning, but head scratching a little bit. I thought we'd at least see him a little bit, especially with Edwards-Helaire being a little banged up. But, who knows? It's all a matter of time. But defense, it's got to be Tyrann Mathieu for the Chiefs. It's their guy. It's like the one guy that does stuff out there. So he's going to have to play well. The rest of the defense is a little suspect here and there. So it's going to be interesting, but I tell you that. So we've broken it down. We've gotten to the final 2 teams. We've reached it, Kansas City and the
Don't
Tampa
do
Bay
it.
Buccaneers. Oh, I'm doing
Don't
it.
do it. Don't do it.
I
Don't
always
do
do it.
this.
Why, Trey?
Dude,
Every time you get on
Don't.
ASAP with me, every time the camera's on, the red light's on, things are rolling, I'm gonna make you pick a winner. I'm gonna make you.
Well, we're going
I
to be
don't
on
care.
next week. Can't we?
No, we have known.
We don't
no.
have time to analyze or nothing.
Here's the
Okay.
great thing, Trey. Trey, here's what's amazing. Okay, and hear me out. Everybody listening at home can agree with this. Okay, we are post game. The three of us are post game. We get the satisfaction to be the first people to bring people the Super Bowl matchup on ASAP Network.
True.
You know, we went live just a couple of minutes after that final. Okay, we are the first people on ASAP Network to tell them, hey, Kansas City Chiefs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's happening. So why not be the first people to say who's going to win it? We're not here. You know, every single show on ASAP, it doesn't even matter if they cover football or not. They're going to talk about the Super Bowl. It's the big thing. We've got 2 weeks. So much can happen.
Exactly.
2 weeks out, though. 2 weeks out. You have 14 days ahead, Trey. You know what? Conman already mentioned his, so I'll go to him first. Conman,
Thank you.
who do you have right now? Kansas City, Tampa Bay. Who do you have as your Super Bowl 55 champion?
Oh.
As much as I don't want to say it, I have to go with KC. They've been there. They got the experience. Mahomes, phenomenal. And I'm going to go KC 34, Tampa Bay 28.
Okay. Trey, do you still pass, or do you want me to answer?
Okay, let me ask you this. Do I have time to come back next week and change my mind if I want to?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just talking right now.
Okay. As of right,
You've got 2 weeks. You can change your mind. Okay.
Okay, yeah, because those three are gonna be back next week.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If
So
some
we'll
Packer
have a post-game Pro Bowl because that'll be exciting. I think that's on Madden this year. I don't
It
know
is on
if it's not a
Madden.
real game. Yeah, that's awesome.
Honestly, dude, this is going to be the first Super Bowl. I can't remember. I think it's actually ever in my lifetime, in my 34 years of living. I really don't care who wins. I really don't. I like both teams. I love the upcoming star and Patrick Mahomes. I think he's going to be the next dynasty with the Kansas City Chiefs. I want to see the old man who's going to be 44 here in a couple months win his 7th championship in 2 separate conferences. You know he wants to do it because Peyton Manning did it with 2 separate teams, but hate you, Will. But right now, I just don't know why. There's something crazy going on with Tampa Bay. Their defense is turning the ball over. They're hitting you really hard. They're coming to play. Right now, I hate doing this, Patrick. I love you. You're my boy. I love the Kansas City Nation. Don't hate me. Please don't hate me. Right now, I got to pick Tampa. There's just something going on with Tampa Bay. I just can't put it's like meant to be. It really is. I have Tampa Bay right now by 3 points.
Can I just say, before I address one of the comments, I love being the guy who brings this mental breakdown to Trey every single week. I am honored that that's my role on ASAP because I do it to Trey every time we're on air. I mean, especially since the playoffs have happened, every single post game we have predicted games, and every week he can't take it. He hates it. So
because I don't want to be wrong, and I haven't had time to watch film or anything, and you don't. Whatever.
That's called the way too early prediction. Okay, it's like when people make mock drafts after week 1 of college football. It's that's like, true. What are you doing? You know, like obviously that's not going to be correct, but you know, hey, we've got a Chiefs answer and a Bucks answer, so that means, hey, post game got it right. I tell you what. Somebody got it right on post game, and so you can book that. One of us has said the Super Bowl winner already. So, and yes, Brandon Herrera down in the comment section, he said, "Wait, the Pro Bowl is being played through Madden." Yeah, this just because of COVID regulations and everything like that, they're not flying everybody down to Orlando because it's not in Hawaii anymore, which is makes it even more exciting to be a Pro Bowler, really. But yeah, so it's going to be weird. But they're just taking the rosters of who made the Pro Bowl and simulating it on Madden, which is terrible, honestly. But
Let's be honest. The Pro Bowl's been done with forever. The Pro Bowl is the worst All-Star game, and no one cares. No one cares. Like, I don't even know why they even try anymore. Just say, all right, you're an all-star. Here you go, but don't even play. It's stupid. No one watches.
I watch Pro Bowl week for the skills challenges, and there's none of that this year, so I'm not enjoying it.
This is how bad the Pro Bowl has gotten. It used to be on primetime. Now they move it to right after like 12 o'clock on Sunday afternoon on ESPN.
If that, it's like played throughout the week. It's like it's just Pro Bowl week. It's a whole inclusive experience. No, it's terrible. Please stop.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm going to agree with Trey. Right now, I don't know what it is, man. I've been so low on the Chiefs. Even today, like, I'm still not convinced, which is terrible because I've been so convinced of the Bills so far this season, and they made them look a little bit more pedestrian. But something tells me the Bucs, man. Something tells me. I thought this year could be a little bit of a passing of the torch thing, and now that Brady's there, I just don't believe it. I said before that if you have the chance to bet against Brady in the playoffs, you don't do it. And because of that, I'm not going to do it.
But you're almost at the same point with Patrick Mahomes too. You're almost there, dude.
6 rings, yeah, almost.
Well, let's be truthful. Let's be truthful. If the Chiefs player didn't step off sides 2 years ago, you would only have 5. So.
And if David Tyree didn't catch a ball on his helmet,
that's true.
If Malcolm Butler didn't make if Pete Carroll runs the ball, he only has 5. This is why we don't talk hypotheticals. What happened. He had 6 rings. Okay, but let's talk about let's wrap things up here with a couple of other topics. We talk about what happened. Big plays in the game, everything like that. Some things could be a difference maker. We need to talk about that pass interference call in the Green Bay game against Green Bay. It was an interesting call to say the least. I think it's going to be one of the if it wasn't for not going for it on 4th down, I think it's going to be the thing that would be questioned most in this game. So definitely a little weird that final play as they were going for it. I want to say it was a 3rd down on the conversion. Bucs trying to get the 1st down to ice the game, and then a late play pass interference call that came in well after the play too. Trey, I'll turn it over to you. Give me your thoughts on that one.
If it wouldn't have been that bad of a call if the referee. Let's just remember the whole game. The referees were letting these guys play. There was tugging and everything going on the entire game. And when I first saw it live, I'm like, I hate Green Bay, and I wasn't even rooting for Green Bay. I was like, that ain't pass, that ain't PI. There's no way. You've been letting these guys play all game and everything. But then the 3rd shot, where you can clearly see him tug his shirt, his underneath shirt all the way off almost. You had to call it. It was that obvious. I mean, it really was. And everyone's talking about, of course the NFL is going to give it to Tom Brady. That was an obvious PI call, and only the bag judge can see that. The only reason the flag came in late is because the bag judge was far out, and he had to throw that flag like 40 yards to make it into the screen. That's the only reason no one saw it right away. It was the right call. I hate games being called on referees, and I thought the officiating crew did an excellent job. Letting the guys play. Yeah, there was tugging on both sides. But the referees let them play. They determined they weren't going to be it's kind of ironic. They weren't going to be the ones determining the game, and it kind of came down to them determining the game. But it was a right call. Even Green Bay fans can't argue. That one shot, if they didn't show that one shot, then yes, you have a gripe. But man, it was a right call. Even if the Dallas Cowboys were wrong, I'd be pissed off because you let it go all game. But that was so obvious you had to call it. I mean, it's just the way the flag rolls sometimes.
Yeah, Brandon Herrera was even rooting for the Packers in favor of his family. I know that he had said he was going to be rooting for the Packers this year in the playoffs. And he even said down here in the comment section, he said it would have been a big miss if they didn't call it. So
Wait a minute. Brandon Herrera's going for the Packers when he's a Viking guy? What?
Due to his late aunt, yes.
Oh, late. Oh, okay. I thought it was just because of family. Okay. I understand that.
Yes, he is. I want to say his aunt. Yes. So he was cheering in favor of family. But yeah. So, hey, go Bucks. But no. Comment, I'll turn it over to you. Obviously, it's one of those things. Honestly, Comment, I'll turn it over to you because anytime a play is called and Tom Brady is in a game, the internet any single time. It doesn't matter if it's controversial or not. It can be the most obvious penalty of all time, and any time a penalty is called in a game.
Well, it goes back to that tuck rule back when they played the Oakland Raiders in the first Super Bowl. Whenever he clearly fumbled the ball and they called it a tuck rule, that's the only reason we're talking about Tom Brady and referees.
And here we are, more than a decade later. It's nuts. Even see the All Sports All Plays network down there in the comments section. Congrats to the whole network getting involved. It says it was the right call, no denying that, but there was no holding on the interception before half was huge.
But that wasn't as blatant. Like he let go, like he grabbed it, like the ref. He
Is that referring to the Bucks interception where the Bucks player was kind of on Devontae Adams? Yeah. Yeah,
he grabbed, but it was at an angle where no referee had a great angle on it. Like it was perfectly great, honestly. But it wasn't as obvious as this, where you're grabbing the whatever. Go ahead, comment.
Comment. Obviously, anything that happens and it's positive in the form of Brady, especially in the playoffs, it's going to be talked about. I guess this is more of just an opinionated question. Are you as tired of this as I am? Like, I'm so sick and tired of every single thing Brady does being basically having an asterisk next to it. And I'm not even a Brady guy. Like, I'm not a Pats fan. I'm not a Bucks fan. I hate Brady because he goes against me. I can't stand the guy. But I'm sick and tired of one of the greatest to do it. Of being just kind of tarnished by current day fans and everything like that. It's just kind of annoying to me. Are you kind of along the same lines?
Yes, and me being from Massachusetts,
That's
this
true. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So you know what I mean. So there are a lot of haters out there, but Brady, sometimes the haters hate the people who are doing so well. I mean, Brady's had a distinguished career. And sometimes when players have that kind of stardom, you end up having a lot of haters. So out here in Massachusetts, we get that a lot out here. But it's getting played out. I mean, give the man his due, give him his respect. He's 20-year career, 6 Super Bowl wins. I mean, come on, this will be his 10th Super Bowl. Outstanding numbers, outstanding career. I mean, they was making the thing that, Bill Belichick made him or he made Bill Belichick, on and on and on and on and on. But at the end of the day, Tom Brady's the GOAT, and you got to give him his due. Got to give him his just due.
At the end of the day, between the Brady-Belichick debate, they're both okay, because Tom Brady's not with Belichick anymore, and he's in a Super Bowl. And Bill Belichick managed to win 7 games with Cam Newton, which are both impressive, to be completely honest, because Cam Newton is not worth 7 wins. But and if you saw that team that Bill Belichick had this year, it was abysmal. And the fact that they were even competing at the end is nuts. So both of them, very good, obviously, at least in my opinion.
Okay, in your opinion, what would you give the percentage-wise? Who gets the most credit?
Well, at the end of the day, Brady's out there making the plays. So I got to give it more to Brady,
like 60-40?
Yeah, I give 60-40. I'm cool with that. I can sleep with that.
That's what I have. Because there was some Super Bowls and some games where Tom Brady was not on his A game, and that defense carried Tom Brady.
No, absolutely.
So
you can say the same thing about a lot of quarterbacks, but I can tell you this: Tom Brady's not the quarterback in all 6 of those Super Bowls. Patriots aren't winning 6 of them, I can tell you he's a difference maker. It's one of those to where at the end of the day, like I said, a good coach can take you so far, but at the end of the day, your players are the ones out there making the plays. If you can have a great scheme, but if the guy out there trying to make the plays can't make the play, then I mean, you're kind of stuck with a good scheme, but nothing to show for it. a la Matt Nagy, a la Mitch Trubisky. Yeah, I work in Kansas City, whatever. But yeah, so we're running out of time here. So thank you guys for that. That was the recap of those two championship games. We're coming up on the Super Bowl 2 weeks from today in Tampa. Well, actually, oh yeah, okay, it's still today in the Eastern time zone. So yeah, 2 weeks from today. In Tampa Bay, first ever team to host a Super Bowl. How about that? And playing it. Congratulations to the Bucs. Congratulations to the Chiefs. Yet again, Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. Tell you what, it's going to be nuts. This is honestly the Super Bowl that we didn't know we were going to get, but we've always wanted. You know, it's just the two quarterbacks in themselves, because this could be this is going to be one to remember for sure.
This is kind of like NBA's version of Michael versus whoever you want to put, a la LeBron, a la Kobe Bryant, playing against each other.
Yeah,
we never got to see, and now we actually get, because thank the Lord that Tom Brady wants to keep playing, which I don't know why this guy wants to keep playing. I don't know what else he has to prove. Yeah, but he has everything. Like, I guess he'll be bored at home. Maybe he thinks he'll die or something of boredom when
what's he gonna
retired. Like, what's he gonna? Maybe he doesn't want to watch the kids. I don't know.
He's got a supermodel wife and a family.
Who makes more money than he does? That is insane.
Yeah, but like, aren't you gonna go play football? I mean, come on.
Yes, they are doing the Pro Bowl match.
Yeah, we already addressed that.
Yes. But
they are.
But in the Super Bowl, it's actually the tiebreaker. It's 2-2. Mahomes, Brady. This is a tiebreaker. And how ironic it is, someone gets a trophy at the end of the tiebreaker. It's kind of ironic. It's kind of like NBA Finals best out of 5 series.
It's crazy. It really is, because we're looking at what is bona fide the best quarterback of his generation versus the presumed best quarterback of his generation up and coming. You know, at least definitely early on. You know, he's made his point. So we're seeing. We're literally seeing the best of two generations go up against each other, which is something you don't get to say much. You know, you don't you don't get to see the leader of the young bucks and the leader of the old heads go up at it. And now we're seeing a 40-plus-year-old quarterback and a 25-year-old quarterback, who are by far the best in their generations, go up against each other, just to almost see at this point which generation is going to take it. You know, and it's crazy. It's crazy to look at it that way.
And one more smack talk at the Packers. I'm sorry, but isn't it ironic? Patrick Mahomes 3 straight, or this is what, fourth year,
Fourth, I think.
It's already going to be his second Super Bowl appearance, and Rodgers only has 1.
Oon, suck it. That is not mean to Ace and J-Mac. We do not mean that.
It isn't.
We respect you guys as Packers fans. That's your decision to make.
Freddie,
I'm sorry.
Oh, Freddie.
He is a bad man playing golf for the next 2 weeks. So take that. But yeah, any final thoughts wrapping up here? Con Man, Trey, either one of you going into Pro Bowl week, really.
Go ahead, comment.
Well, you know, I have a question for both of you guys.
Okay.
If in fact Brady does win the Super Bowl, what would be your reaction to that?
He's done.
As far as his whole career.
He's done.
Reaction to his whole career, I would be honored to be alive during this time. Like, and I already am. I really already am. Just to see greatness, like I'm gonna be a little bit of I'm gonna boast Tom Brady up a little bit. Tom Brady is a phenomenal quarterback, one of the best to ever do it. I'm never gonna say there's a GOAT other than Wayne Gretzky. Is Brady close to Wayne
Brady's close, dude?
Is Tom Brady close to Gretzky status? The thing is, when I say GOAT, there is such a significant difference between Gretzky and the field. You know, Brady's still fighting for records. But if he was dominantly number one in every single category, then yeah, Tom Brady's the GOAT. And 7 rings would obviously make a great impression. But at the same time, you know, we talk about that. You know, you had said that there are some that he shouldn't have won. There's some where his defense carried him, you know, and so you think about that a little bit, and I think that all has to go into the GOAT conversation, and that's why I don't like it. But I'm honored to watch Tom Brady play. Like, I feel like I don't deserve it sometimes because it's masterful to see what he does. Whenever I was watching him with New England, I always thought it was the Belichick system. And I always thought it was just the way he ran things. And now I'm seeing it from a different perspective when he's with Tampa. And not only is he just a check down guy anymore, but he's making those deep plays. You know, people say his arm's dead. His arm's not dead. You see some of the deep balls he throws? That touchdown to Scotty Miller. Oh, chef's kiss. It was so good. It's so beautifully thrown. I mean, he's phenomenal. And so to watch him and to be able to watch Pat Mahomes at the same time, it's something that I'm going to tell my kids about. You know, it's something that, you know, I get to hear about, you know, Dan Marino. I get to hear about John Elway. I get to hear about that. But I'm excited one day to tell the future generation about Tom Brady, no matter if he wins this Super Bowl or not. If he wins it, it's going to be even more nuts. But, you know, no matter how many he walks out with, 6 is already impressive. So, I mean, what more does he have to do? You know, like Trey said it best, you know, what more can Tom Brady do other than just keep accumulating NFL records? I mean, that's all he's doing at this point. So, honored to watch Tom Brady play for sure.
Me personally, I say he should retire. I don't think he will. He signed a 2-year commitment for one reason. I don't know.
This guy has 2 of them things.
See, that's what I'm thinking too. Because he was the last team with the New England Patriots to run it back to back, and that was the last team to do it. And it honestly, no one thought that Tampa. Everyone knew they were going to make the playoffs, but I honestly didn't see them going to the Super Bowl, especially with no training camp, no OTAs, new system, new everything. I didn't see him gelling this, and they gelled perfectly, at the right time, mind you, right at the right time. The only motivation Tom Brady has to come if he wins the Super Bowl is to run it back and then call it a career. Say, just like John Elway did, it's like, peace. I did with 2 separate teams back to back, beat that. I hosted our own Super Bowl. Boom, did that. I went to a different conference and won a Super Bowl. I mean, what else is this guy going to have? And maybe another reason, if he wins this Super Bowl, 7's kind of an odd number. Let's go for 8, make it even, get 4 ring, you know. My thumbs don't need one. We just need it on 4 different fingers. You know what I mean? So, honestly, I want to be shocked either way, but Tom Brady says he wants to play till he's 45, and right now I have no reason to believe why he shouldn't be playing till he's 45, because I thought he was done last year after the last throw of the season was a pick. I thought you should just retire because you're done, you're old, whatever. But now we're starting to see with the young guns and the rejuvenated offense, and he's having fun because remember, New England was all about business. Now they're having fun. He's having fun. And he's looking like a young kind of Tom Brady again, if you really look at it. And the guy who takes care of his body, doesn't really drink or anything, smoke, tobacco, nothing, like no drug. He takes care of his body better than anybody in the world. So I have no reason to believe why he should hang it up, because he says he's going to play till he's 45, and I have no reason to doubt him. I really believe he's going to play to 45. But me personally, what's the point? You know, but I think he's going to be back. But if it is his last game and he wins, I'm with Will. I can't wait to tell my daughter, my future kids, whatever, my little cousins, whoever, tell them the greatness of Tom Brady and everything like that. And a whole documentary when we're all in our rocking chairs with a cigar in our mouths, like, oh yeah, the 30 for 30 films for on ESPN. Like, man, you should have been alive during this time. Because and I don't understand these young kids today. I really don't. And I'm going to end on this. I don't understand why we don't want greatness. I really don't. Like, why are you hating on people who are great?
Con Man said it best, because people can't take other people's success.
Why not try to make it your own success? Why not try to do better than? That's what I don't understand.
They say to be the best, you have to beat the best. So exactly. go out and beat Tom Brady. That's how you shut him up. I don't know what happened to Con Man.
Either. But I do want to say one last thing. It's going to be a great Super Bowl. It's going to be. I can't wait for it. I finally just get to relax. I'm going to have no stress because I don't care who wins. It's a great day. I will say this: the Aaron Rodgers press conference. There's a lot of talk going on saying that this is it for him in Green Bay. No, it's not. No, it's not. He's staying right there. He's just a sourpuss loser. He wants to go. No, his best chance to win is in Green Bay. If he goes anywhere else, he ain't gonna win. Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers is gonna stay right where he's at. Sorry.
Maybe he pulls the Brett Favre thing, retires like 6 times, and goes to a division rival. That'll be fun.
Well, honestly, if he retires, he has a lot more options than Tom Brady. I mean, he's already like one of the guest hosts on the Jeopardy show. I mean,
he can become a State Farm agent. Whatever.
Oh, you know, State Farm is the biggest loser in that loss, right? They have Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. Your 2 guys right there. Aaron Rodgers couldn't do it. Darn it.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? But yeah, no. Obviously, greatness. You know, phenomenal. And I can't wait for the Hall of Fame day where you get to see him get inducted, and he's just standing up there in his speech, and he's just sitting like this, and you can just see all the rings on his fingers like that. Just every single one on his hand, just a ring on all of them, just sitting there. Let me just scratch my fit. All 8 rings or however many, you know, it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be great.
And even off the field, like what he does for players off the field. Let's remember, we brought in Randy Moss. We all knew what kind of hothead he was. He took him under his wing and did amazing things with him. He was
doing the same thing with Antonio Brown.
That's what I was getting to. Antonio Brown, the same exact thing. Ocho Cinco
off the rails this offseason. I mean,
you haven't heard a peep about him.
And this is away from the Patriots too. You know, this isn't bringing him into the Patriots system and Bill Belichick keeping him in peace. This is Tom Brady. This is proof that this is Tom Brady. You know? And Bruce Arians said that he didn't even want him. Bruce Arians and Tom Brady said, "That's our guy. Get him." You know, Tom Brady came out here and he's making sure of things. You know, it's crazy. There's so much to Tom Brady that people don't understand. And if you actually watch him, and if you actually learn who the guy is, there's no reason to hate him. And it's great because he embraces the hate. He makes it for himself. He goes to try to high-five the ref in the Saints game. He just plays to the narrative. He's just like, yep, I cheat. Here we go. High-five the refs. And the ref's like, no, all right, and keeps walking. You know, like it's so perfect. Like
he makes fun of himself. That's what I love about
There's
him.
nobody who is loved and hated more than Tom Brady.
Maybe LeBron. Maybe LeBron.
In the football world, hashtag, asterisk, sorry. There's nobody hated more in football and loved more in football than Tom Brady. But if you know the guy, if you actually watch the guy do what he does, you have to love him. Unless you're in the AFC East, you know, then I understand. You can hate him. But that'll be the end of us here. Kansas City and Tampa Bay going to the Super Bowl 55, 2 weeks from today. It's going to be crazy. So make sure you tune into that. Make sure you'll be able to be here because I'm sure we'll have post game for that too. If we are all in the right state of mind,
I will be.
I'll be honest. It's a Bucs Super Bowl. I lived in Tampa for 12 years. I might call that day off. We might have fun. It's going to be great. Get a couple of Tom Brewskis in there.
No, real quick. Why is that not a national holiday? Seriously.
Super Bowl should be.
Yeah, not the Super Bowl, the day after the Super Bowl.
I worked at a restaurant where that closed early for the Super Bowl. It was awesome.
No, that's good, but I'm talking about the next day. That needs to be the holiday because that's like the number one day that everyone calls in.
I don't make the rules.
That really is. That's the number one day after the Super Bowl most people call in.
I called out already. But that'll be all for us. For Trey and for Conman, for Ace Backstage, thank you for filling in on short notice, my friend. I've been Will Polston. Thank you, everybody in the comments section. Make sure if you guys keep doing that, you can win yourself a free T-shirt, being the viewer of the month. Like, comment, subscribe. Not subscribe. We're not on YouTube. Well, I mean, we are on YouTube. Go subscribe to YouTube. But like, comment, share the video, do everything you can to build a brand. Be the January viewer of the month. Can't do that, reach out to one of us. $14.99 shipping and handling, free T-shirts. Oh, well, those aren't free. Those are money. $14.99 shipping and handling. Like I said, trying to say a lot of words at the end of the time. Like I said, goodbye. Hey,
have a good day, guys.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so type the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.